Other than Tetris, I'm not normally into puzzle games or anything of the sort, but the first time I played Super Monkey Ball, I was completely hooked. Super Monkey Ball and Super Monkey Ball 2 were released on the GameCube, while the PS2 and Xbox had to wait for their exclusive title, Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. This was worth the wait though, as all levels from the first two games are included here, as well as nearly 50 new stages just for this release. I only wish it would have seen a GameCube release, but nevertheless, this game is crazy, silly, and timeless. So let's jump into Super Monkey Ball Deluxe for the Xbox. Now, Sega was known for its Japanese-born franchises in the late 90s and early 2000s, and this carries that tradition over to the next generation of consoles. Selecting the game's story mode will reveal the plot. The four main characters are visited by the evil supervillain Dr. Bad Boon, and this crazy ape steals all the bananas located on the island and hauls them off, dispersing them throughout his many mazes. And if you want them, you're gonna have to go get them. Select one of the four monkeys and start making your way through these mazes. They start out pretty simple with little skill required to complete, but as you move your way through each world, you'll find that these levels will start to get quite tricky. There are 10 worlds in all, each with 20 stages, but only 10 levels must be completed to advance to the next world. And the best part about this is that you can select which 10 levels of the 20 that you want to complete. The story mode also features infinite lives, which you will probably need towards the end of the game. There are cutscenes between each world, as well as an ending cutscene for when you complete the entire story. Diving into gameplay a little more, the ultimate goal here is to reach the goal, which is usually at the end of a complicated stage filled with hazards to make things more difficult for you. And on top of all of this, each stage is floating high in the sky, which makes it possible to fall off of the edge, causing a fallout. The two other main factors of gameplay are bananas and time. Now, bananas are scattered throughout each maze, and collecting these bananas will result in a higher score and even gain you extra lives. As the worlds progress, bananas will be located in harder to get to areas, and it's up to you to determine if the risk is worth the reward. The problem here is you don't have all day to roll around trying to get bananas, as each level has a time limit. And the limit usually consists of 60 seconds, but some levels will give you even less time. The controls are pretty simple here. You move exclusively with the left control stick. Pressing up will move your character forward into the direction you're facing. No other buttons are even really used here other than the A button, which zooms in or out of your mini-map located at the bottom right-hand side of the screen. The control feels good, but on stages with no room for error, it can get really frustrating. But I think that's just part of the game's charm. While it plays fine here, there is no doubt in my mind that the GameCube has the best controller for this game. The octagon shape of the plastic that surrounds the analog stick on the controller is perfect for those precise moments where you have no room to navigate. But again, it works well enough on the PS2 and Xbox versions. The challenge mode throws you right into the action, letting you select from beginner, advanced, or expert courses. And to top things off, not only do the stages get more difficult depending on what you select, but the amount of levels themselves increase. And unlike story mode, you only receive a certain amount of lives here, so it's really beneficial to collect as many bananas as possible. I'd have to say, one thing I love about this game is the minimal load times. Other than going back and forth between levels in the main menus, you won't really find any load times at all. It's really nice to play through 100 different stages without being slowed down. It really keeps the pace moving. You know, it's funny, normally a clock ticking down in a video game, or really anywhere in that matter, drives me nuts, but it never really bothered me here, and I really have no idea why. The music in the game is usually pretty fast-paced dance-style stuff. It fits what's going on here, and I really have no complaints about it. My only gripe, and it's minor, is the annoying sounds the monkeys make when they pick up bananas or bump into things. There's also a practice mode where you can go into any level that you've already completed in story and play again. This comes in handy if you've got a few levels that you want to play over and over again, or if you've got one you just can't seem to master. The main game is only a part of what Super Monkey Ball has to offer. There's also mini-games here, and while some of these are not my slice of pie, there are some pretty addicting modes here. There's a race mode where you face off against other monkey balls on a track with Mario Kart-style pickups, and while I like the idea, it just doesn't seem right here. There's a boxing game which has you fighting other monkeys in a small stage complete with a collapsible boundary. You'll want to destroy these walls so you can knock your opponents out of this ring. And this is fun, but it can be a bit hard to keep track of due to the camera being zoomed out so far. Monkey Dogfight is pretty cool as you fly around and just shoot other monkeys like some kind of fighter pilot, but the replay value here is almost non-existent. Monkey Target reminds me a bit of Pilot Wings. The objective here is to fly over to a target and land on the areas with the highest number to score those points. And there's also a spin at the start of each course that determines if you'll face any hazards like spikes. This is pretty fun but gets difficult pretty quickly. Monkey Billiards is probably where I spent most of my time when it comes to the minigames. I had a lot of fun with this mode playing with friends when I was younger. Definitely a shining spot here. Pocket. The bowling is decent, but I'm not a fan of the gameplay mechanic. It's a bit tough to aim straight down the lane, and I often end up just getting frustrated with it. The golf and mini-golf portions of the game are also some of my favorites. This can definitely consume some of your time if you're a fan of golf games. I have never figured out this monkey boat racing game. I know the left and right triggers paddle, but I can't ever seem to steer left or right to save my life. Monkey Chute is just kind of a first-person shooter with on-screen crosshairs that can be moved around to aim at enemies. It's not bad, but it's just a little boring. The soccer game is, well, it needs work. Same could be said about the baseball, which is a shame. The monkey ball that you need to hit can actually change speeds in the middle of movement, which is just ridiculous. And honestly, I just don't know what's going on here. Ouch! And last but not least, we have Monkey Tennis. It's not bad, but I find the bulky ball surrounding my character gets in the way and causes me to get hit. Overall, a few of these minigames are pretty good, but I could have lived without the majority of them. Super Monkey Ball Deluxe is a great party game. Most of my time playing it when I was younger was spent playing it with other people. It's a challenging game if you want it to be, or if you just want to kill some time with little stress expensed, you can make it easy. It's really up to you. It's not for everybody, that's for sure, but if you're watching this and thinking, man, that looks pretty fun, then you'll probably love it.